So I'm just so used to holding it in my hand when I go out places. Let's flip this around. Yours facing me. Okay, cool. All right. Oh, what's up, y'all? It's your girl, Miss Georgia, the one, not only the biggest hustler. I'm here today at the after party live with
360 Flexx.
And we finna let y'all know how he hustle. So how you doing today?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for coming. I mean, was it a long drive for you? How was the drive?
It was about 3 hours. It wasn't too bad though.
Hey, not too bad. Tell the people where you from. Where you
I'm from Meridian, Mississippi.
Okay. Meridian, like, you're doing your thing.
Oh yeah. We turned up. We just had American Idol Jamal Roberts
from Meridian.
Yeah, big
from
deal.
Meridian. And real quick, because we're gonna talk about your hustle.
Okay.
But it starts in the hometown. Where you from? Like, just being able to say, you know, that's where you born and raised and coming from, and seeing even not just the artist that's coming up right now, but just being able to say you from the same place of someone coming on a TV show that everybody has seen. Like, and he's young.
Yeah.
You know, in the music field. Like, what does that feel like?
It was crazy because like American Idol actually came to the city.
Wow.
And they put on a whole show on City Hall lawn. You know, they put the big stage up, the lights, everything. It was insane. They had like snipers on the rooftop.
Wow. Did you go?
Yeah, I was in the middle of it. You know, I'm there.
Yeah. Like, to be a part of something like that and to be an artist, like, did it inspire you, you know, just to step out and to do more?
Oh, most definitely. Yeah. Like, just him doing that, he had me singing gospel music to a lady next to me I'd never even met.
Wow.
So it was really inspiring how much somebody can really move you to do things.
Exactly. Now I want to say thank you, you know, just for taking the drive to come and connect with me. We met at Heartbeats event in Hattiesburg, Mississippi.
Shout out Heartbeats.
Shout out to Heartbeats. And that's somebody who I look up to, you know, is an inspiration. Seeing him connect with so many artists and just make his mark, you know, in the industry and in Mississippi, it's just inspiring to even work with somebody like that. So how long have you been working with or knowing Heartbeats?
I met him in 22.
Okay.
Right before I went to prison.
Okay.
And while I was locked up, I was talking to him and stuff. And as soon as I got out, I was like, I'm doing some music.
Yeah.
You know, before that, I'd been like engineering and recording for everybody in my city.
Okay.
But never rap myself.
Okay.
So I was always like, that's the change, you know, that's trying to be the change, free studio time, because I've never charged anybody.
Wow.
And then I was like, maybe, so I had a lot of self-reflection time in prison.
Yeah.
So I was like, I actually got to do these things.
Right.
So, because I know so many talented people that are just stuck in that hometown, you know,
mentality.
Yeah, they don't get out, go do anything.
Exactly.
So that's why I'm doing stuff like this, going to Heartbeats and trying to pave a way, show everybody, you know, like you just got to get out the hometown a little bit.
Yeah, and you know what? I think what you just said says a lot about your character, because you said you produce and engineer before becoming an artist. And I know we talk about Heartbeats. I know he's an artist as well, makes great music.
Amazing, yeah.
Exactly. So I'm familiar with his work, but you also said you started off where you weren't charging anybody.
I've never charged anybody, and I've been recording music for 12 years.
Wow.
Never charged for studio time not once.
Wow.
I just did it because I'm trying to make something happen.
And you know what? Because now I can tell you this. I can say this. I'm impressed by that because me, myself personally, I started off with music. I actually probably like five years ago. I had never made a song, anything like that. Someone I knew was like, hey, you know, you need to make a song. They wrote me a song. I learned it, and I kind of been doing it ever since. Yeah. But I went and I remember starting, and I remember I thought, you know, you just make a song and you're an artist.
Right.
And it's just so much to it.
It's so much. Like, you got to go do things like this.
Yeah.
Go to like after parties or little events. You got to network with these people. You got to show face. It's it's a lot more than just making the music. That's a musician.
Exactly. And when I got started, and I'm seeing all the things and trying to connect the dots, I realized, like, okay, everybody want money, or you got to pay for this, gas, clothes, studio time, covers. And I took a trip to Memphis, like my first year of rapping. And I went to a pretty big platform that I learned a lot from, that I definitely plan to go back to and network. But at the time, it didn't sit right with me on how much it costs. And I didn't know at the time, okay, platforms, once they build their worth, then yeah, they charge. I went to something, and it took probably 15 minutes for me to get a piece of content. And I paid over $1,000.
I believe it. You gotta pay for placement to get in these places, to get in the door.
And now knowing, I probably should have waited a little bit longer before making a move like that to build my name. But it taught me a lot right then and there, because on the way back from Memphis, I was like, everybody don't have $1,000. And I ain't have it. You feel me?
Yeah.
But I was so intrigued with the journey at the time. I'm like, okay, I want to go do this. I want to put myself on the big screen, but not knowing on the back end, you got to work out so much stuff first.
Yeah,
and, it's not likely that you always make a song and it blow up.
Oh, you got to have money to put behind it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that encouraged me to come and start Hustleaholic, which is now a label and management services. And I based it around helping people use their resources as an artist at a low budget, like almost little to nothing,
right,
to work with other people or to work with me. And what somebody else may charge, I may charge half the price, only because I know how it is having to invest in yourself.
Right.
And I did it. I've shot probably hundreds of videos without taking any money, just for the connection part.
Right.
Because I'm building myself. I'm building my creativity. It's teaching me. So hearing you say you did something for 12 years and not charging, just because you building your brand, bringing your name, and then you want to help other people. That's very inspirational.
Thank you. I appreciate
people don't do that.
No, not at all. Like, there's I'm not gonna talk. I ain't gonna do
that. So I ain't gonna ask you to say it if you don't want to say it. But we don't know who's watching. We don't know what you could have said, what it could have changed.
Yeah, some of the guys, like, I've tried to make a connection with, and I didn't start off with talking about money. Oh, right. I'm gonna pay you for this video. Like,
right.
I invited a video guy to come to Heartbeats with me to the party we were at.
Right.
And I was going to talk to him about, hey, shoot some content for me. I'm going to put some money, but just because I didn't start off with money, he didn't entertain it. And it kind of I saw where his heart was. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I'm going to come with the money, but I want to see if we can actually build a connection. If you even care about that.
Exactly. And like I said, so I know we spent a lot of time on that, but like I said, I just want to say, like, that's big. And if you can't take anything from anybody, like, sometimes the biggest payment is literally just a connection, because you don't know who you will meet and what kind of longevity of a business relationship that can create, what you can do with somebody. So me, I've never turned down anybody with networking. And if they couldn't do something, I always try to work with them. And always trying to offer the best that I can. Just as you see, so I want to say, salute to you for that. And going back, because I spent a lot of time with artists, especially my last few artists, when we talk about the system of them being incarcerated and things like that. And I've never been to jail personally myself, but my whole life, I got family members that's in prison that I talk to every day that support my journey. And I got 2 young cousins who went to jail at 14 and 16, girls, capital murder, 40 years. And I have to, and these are my close family members. So I know I'm bringing that up, but I think it's important, because whether we've been there or know somebody that's been there, it's a part of our life. And like you said, we learn a lot and get a lot of things from it. And just because you had that time to self-reflect, look where we're at now, because you had that time to say, this is what I want to do.
Right.
And imagine how many people that you met in that process that now can pull out their phone, see us sitting here talking, and now they're inspired to say, okay, I know I can set something up for myself and go get it.
Right, because I was just in there, and I still got them guys calling everything, so they can see I just got out last year.
Okay.
And I'm already trying to run it and do something.
Exactly.
It's all about what you want to do.
Exactly. And I mean, being home just from last year, that's not a lot of time. Mm-mm. So you've done, to me, from what I've seen, from looking at your catalog and following your journey, and now being here talking to me, and like I said, thank you for being here. That's a lot. You setting those goals and you attacking them.
Yep.
You attacking them.
Every day I got some goals I got to do.
Every day. So let's tap more back into you, into the self. Let's give a background. Let's talk about how you got here. And I know you get a question. I know you get the typical question all the time, but I want to know about your story.
Well, the whole time, everybody's rapping. I'm recording while I was going and stuff and listening to them. So they're typing in my notes and stuff. And when people would leave and we had something that was unfinished, I'd hop on there when everybody left and might try to spit a little something.
Okay.
But it was always something I just kept to myself.
Okay.
But, I was really doing all the stuff that they rap about.
Right.
So I always felt like I couldn't talk about it on a microphone. You know what I'm saying? That's federal.
Which I understand, though. And, a lot of people try to use that for hype. So that's, like I said, a lot about your character, because just because we got a story to tell, we got to be careful how we tell it.
Right.
And it's not just for bragging rights. Me being a hustler myself, because it takes time to elevate and make different moves in life. So I know where you coming from, because I'm here today, but I'm straight from out the street.
Telling you, I'm trying to tell you.
Like
If you ain't from Mississippi, I don't feel like you got it out the mud.
Listen, I can't sugarcoat it with you at all. I'm trying to clean up my life, but I know what you mean when you talk about grinding and hustling and saying, okay, not only are you saying I'm about to be different, because everybody love to talk about all that stuff that they think cool.
Right.
But when you really hustling, you done came from the trenches, some of that shit just happened because it had to.
Yeah,
it wasn't even set up on choices.
It was something you had to do, and I'm trying to get out of there.
Exactly.
I'm trying to, like, the real dreams to go legit.
Exactly.
And that's
not to be looking over your shoulder.
No.
Worried about what you can lose and what can happen. That's the real goal.
You get money like that, there's karma. There's things behind that. Mm-hmm. And, I had to deal with all of those consequences.
Yeah.
It really started happening a little before I lost my leg. I started catching my karmic reaction. I lost my son first.
Okay.
I lost my son. I had to give him mouth-to-mouth and CPR, and I had to face that, and it really took a toll on me. Like, I was having dreams that he made it in the hospital. I'd wake up confused.
Right.
It was a long struggle, and I'm still in the streets doing my thing, trying to keep myself preoccupied and stuff. And I started, backsliding. I got everything around. Well, somebody laced me in fentanyl, and that's when I didn't ever mess around with opiates, nothing like that. So it knocked me straight out, burnt me across my chest, and they left me laying there for dead. My leg was all mangled up behind me, lost circulation. So it was sending blood clots to my heart.
Wow.
And when they found me in the hotel, they were pronouncing me dead. And the EMTs, one of them, he's gone. And the other one was like, no, did you hear that? And he just took a faint breath.
Right.
So they proceeded to save my life. I got airlifted to Jackson, and I was in a coma for a month.
Wow.
And I woke up with my leg cut off.
Wow. That's crazy.
So once that happened, I had to reevaluate my life, find out who I was again, not just from running around trying to, I got this, I was doing this. I had to really refigure my whole life out.
Exactly.
I had to start using this instead of just being tough.
Exactly.
And all that shit.
Exactly.
So that's when I came out and I started trying to make a change, and then the disability check don't be hitting. They don't hit on nothing. So I backslid some more and violated my probation and had to go to prison for 2 years with one leg.
With one leg.
That was,
man. If ain't nobody, if it's not a story I've heard, that's the story. And I'm sorry I gotta take you back, but we don't know, like I said, who's watching this,
right.
and that's a lot of different things for a human to be going through.
And a lot of people, people run their mouth and everything like that, but I was the one dealing with that. You never know what you do in the situations he deal with. You're not supposed to lose a child.
Exactly.
You're not supposed to lose a child. It's not natural for a parent to lose their baby.
Exactly.
And, I had my daughter, and she was finally a big sister that was taken from her. And so we had to pick up the pieces of our life. We didn't know, nobody's prepared to deal with that.
Exactly. Can I ask how old was your son?
2 months old.
2 months. And like you said, nobody is preparing for anything like that. And to also have to, a family that you have and children who also don't understand that quite yet. Because I heard you mention your daughter.
Right.
She said you said she was happy about being a big sister. And so just now you had life a certain way to now waking up and something is completely different. And you mentioned, of course, then after losing your leg, which we're going to go back to all of that. But you said you had to start using this.
Yeah.
To me, that's the cheat code.
It really is.
It's superpower.
It really is. Everything.
Literally.
Like, because I do fitness and dieting and everything now, and it's all like, I got my days where I want to go to the gym. It's for discipline. It's discipline keeps in. I want to eat a piece of cake or something.
Exactly.
Discipline.
Exactly. And I know what you mean, because talking about it sounds like you want a journey, self journey.
Most definitely.
I recognize that because I've been on a self journey, and all I've been doing is using this. And when you figure out how to control your mind, control your thoughts, everything else does seem clearer and fall into place.
You can start attracting things, creating the experience you want here.
Exactly.
It's all up to you.
Exactly. Because we learn once we start controlling this, we realize that, for one, we're in control of a lot, but not of everything.
Right.
Some things we just cannot change.
We control how we deal with those things, though.
Exactly.
Like, I'm dealing with, engine in my car just went out. I had to drop $7,000. I had to figure out how to come up with 7 bands real quick.
Exactly.
The old me would have crashed out about it.
About something that could be replaced and fixed.
Or it crashed out with Nissan and everything like that. But, I handled it. It took some time, but everything works itself out. It always does.
Exactly. It always does. And that got a lot to do with faith, too. Literally, faith of a mustard seed is all it takes to say, okay, things are like this right now, but it's something better coming.
Most definitely.
And it's for a purpose. So I want to say, if you're watching this, we're not saying that things are easy to get over, because it's not. I've had days when I didn't want to wake up. And what I realized, no matter who I talk to, no matter what color they is, how old they are, we all have certain things in common. Everybody has a story. It may be different, but everybody has a story. No matter how much money you got, no matter where you live, everybody feels like it's something that they have a problem with, because it's life.
Yeah.
And if something isn't happening, to me, I had so many bad days. If I'm waking up and nothing wrong, I feel like something wrong. Like, what's going to happen? And I had to realize, though, that goes back to being in control of your mind, because it's what you think. If you're expecting bad, if you close your eyes and only thing you can see is bad coming, and that's what you're setting up for yourself, that's what's most likely to come.
Yeah.
So it all is about manifesting. I pray. I don't. Do you pray? Are you religious?
I'm spiritual.
Okay.
I'm spiritual. I'm not necessarily.
Which I understand, and that's why I ask, because it matters. It's still, we all have a divine power that we look up to, no matter how.
Jesus said the kingdom was within.
Exactly.
And we'll do better things, greater things than He will.
Exactly. So I feel you on that. Just saying you're spiritual, I understand you.
I'm going. Where I'm going with that.
I feel you on that. Let's talk. Let's go back. Let's talk about you losing your leg, because that's something that happened later in your life, where I'm sure. And then, like you said, coming out of a coma, and before going into that coma, you had both of your legs, and now waking up to a completely different life, a different identity.
So last thing I remember was, being laid up with my fiance. She was my fiance at the time, and she just left me there for dead.
And it show you, when you trust people, what happened. And that's crazy.
It's so I've had a hard time, like, even going out in public, and like, especially when it first happened, because I'm 6'4". I was kind of a bigger dude, so my leg gets taken from me, and I was 140 pounds when I came out the coma.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling weak. I'm in a wheelchair at first and stuff like that. Everybody's taller than me, and I'm used to being taller than everybody.
Exactly.
So I had a lot of trust issues, because the person I thought I was going to spend my life with left me for dead, put fentanyl in that and everything like that. So it took a lot of figuring out, and
I know.
But I woke up last time I had 2 legs. I woke up and I thought I was in a car wreck at first, because I had some afterlife experiences. So I thought I was in a car wreck, and I woke up when they pulled the ventilator out of my throat. I was asking if everybody else was okay.
Right.
Because I thought there was, car on fire, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I woke up and they had part of my leg and a dry ice box, because I still had some before they cut me all the way to the hip. So the night before my birthday, I'd been in the hospital for about 2 months at that point. The night before my birthday, I started internally bleeding, and they come in there having to rip staples out, and they did an emergency hip disarticulation the next morning on my birthday, the day I turned 27.
Wow.
So going 26 years, I'm walking, running, playing sports, and then I wake up and I can't do none of that.
Can't do none of it.
But I'm trying to get back to it. I'm trying to get into like some amputee sports or something like that.
Exactly. And man, that's a story to tell. And being able to come and share your story here with me, it means a lot to me, And I've never in my life took anything for granted, because at a young age, like, I had experiences to show me that things are materialistic. And I'm not saying us, but anything could be taken from us like this.
Any moment.
And so my entire life, I've been blessed to just be more attached to the things I can't see, touch, but what I can feel. And I mean, like, just my mental and love and stuff like that. So just hearing your story of saying how you had things a certain way, and then just having to alter everything immediately with no choice.
Right.
And you're doing it. You're doing it. I probably, if without us sitting here talking, I wouldn't have guessed that it's something that now you're altering your life around now, and it was recent and not something you've been dealing with.
Right.
And then you said you went back to prison.
Yeah. So most of the time about half the time that I've been without my leg, I've been in the hospital or prison.
Right.
So I probably had like 9 months in the world before I went to prison.
Yeah.
And then I've been out for a year. So that was 2 years in prison, 6 months in the hospital. And I've had like 2 years, almost 2 years in the world since I lost it. So it's been a lot of like, when I go somewhere, I have to think of like, am I going to be able to navigate, you know what I'm saying, get through obstacles? Is it going to be like a packed place? Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like I have to think about these things. Exactly.
And I don't want to, but let's go back and talk about that, because I know being in the hospital is different from being in prison.
Mm-hmm.
So would you say that journey helped you a little bit more with knowing, because at that point you got to become accustomed to different things. Like they're not fitting to your needs all the time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
They told me to like, because like you got to go into the shower, take your clothes.
Exactly.
They told me they wouldn't give me a shower chair. The MDOC wouldn't give me a shower chair. They told me slip and fall or don't shower at all.
Exactly.
And like the system, like my people are having to call the governor and stuff to get like at least handicap rails put in there, because they don't give a shit about us.
Exactly. And that's why I bring it up, because we got loved ones there, and like just to be
suffering.
Exactly.
Because they, you know what I'm saying, and
made a mistake, honestly. Suffering because of that. And we all know the jail system got the most money running through it than anything.
Oh man. Then they started up food programs, exactly. You know what I'm saying? They're double taxing people on when they put commissary on your books. Then you gotta pay, they pay tax on that. It's like $6 to add money to somebody's book. Then you gotta pay taxes when you order stuff.
Exactly.
That's supposed to be, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. You see, that's crazy. And man, see, my people, they tell me all the time, like, Georgia, watch what you tap into when you talking on that podcast, because people could come for you. I'm like, I don't care. I don't, because if nobody gonna talk about it, then what?
It just gets, and they're gonna
exactly.
All right, we're gonna keep getting.
So we build awareness when we talk. I talk about it because people need to know this is what's going on. This is what's happening. And that's some pretty mean shit to say. Just because now, just because now you need an accommodation, and that's what they want, and that's what you have to go deal with.
Yeah, because it's like, but you're not finna get out your clothes in the zone. Exactly. You're gonna get told they're gonna crank out on you.
Exactly.
Or I go in there and like I went in there, I fell a couple times. You know what I'm saying? I'm bruised up, and then I got staph in my leg, and I'm literally on my last leg.
Wow.
So it took me 2 weeks to get medical.
Wow. You got staph in
this leg.
In your leg.
In this leg right here.
You got 2 weeks. It took 2 weeks to get medical. Just like that, you could have lost your second leg.
Yep.
And like I said, that says a lot. So I'm saying, we need change. And people like us, when we make it and the time comes, we'll be the people that go back and put change. And say, we talked about this and we build the awareness. So thank you for sharing that story. Thank you for sharing that story. Really. Thank you for sharing that story, because like I said, somebody gonna hear it, and it's important that we brought it up.
Because I was not the only person that goes through that. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? There's other handicapped people. There's people that are fine that aren't getting the things that they should be getting.
Exactly. So us as people, as taxpayers, as politicians, and all of those things, we have to do better.
Yeah.
We have to do better, and no matter if that's us, people like us starting fundraisers and putting things together to actually give back and help support people in the system, or have people that's supported in the system. We wanna find resources of lawyers and different things like that can help in cases like that. So we start here, today, with manifesting those kind of changes to come.
They're coming. They're coming.
They coming. So all of those things has led us here today on a Tuesday.
From going out.
On a Tuesday. We up in here preaching, okay? And we up in here talking about this, like I said, on the Tuesday. It led us here to this moment. And I believe everything happened for a reason. I sat down one day in my life, man. I thought my life was so bad. I was ready to end it all. Like, and I had to sit down and I was like, if I can change something, what I would change. And I remember thinking and subtracting the worst thing that ever happened to me in my life. And I realized I was like, damn, I wouldn't even be sitting right. And it kind of at that time made sense to me.
Yeah.
That like damn, everything does happen for a reason. You learn something from something else.
Because if I wouldn't have gone through the things I went through, I'd still be
doing what
I'd still be down there. I wouldn't be rapping now. I wouldn't be plugged in with Heartbeats, fixing to drop my first EP.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
On this podcast with you.
Exactly. And that's just the small part of the story. We don't even know, like, the big that it's gonna come from. But just saying, yeah, everything happened for a reason. And we're gonna tap back a little bit more because I know here in my city, that's something that we've lost people that I know from fentanyl. And this is what I say when I say we build awareness and we're gonna talk about
this is what like a living situation of fentanyl does. Most people don't make it out alive.
And that's crazy because I ain't seen nobody make it out. So we going back to that because you also said, and I'm only, like I said, because we need to build awareness, and especially here, I know it's somebody here in this city. It was cases like back to back to back to back to us losing young and old from fentanyl.
Yep.
And people who were laced or tricked or got a hold to the wrong thing.
Yeah.
So let's go back to that. Not even just fentanyl, but just drugs in the community, because it's around and it's kids around now, youth who don't know how to protect themselves, who are peer pressured. Also trusting people who we feel like we can trust, and then now you're in a different situation. And like you said, hearing you say you were laced with fentanyl with somebody you trust, and it didn't kill you, but you woke up in a completely different life. And I heard you said you had afterlife experience.
Yes.
Tell me about one of those.
Well, I had 3 different ones. The second one, the first one was like where I thought I was pitch black, but there was like a fire, and it was like being on the side of the interstate at like 2:00 in the morning, off the shoulder and everything. Uh-huh. And I remember trying to run up and looking both ways and not seeing anything.
Wow.
Just total darkness, know. Mm-hmm. Nobody to help. It was just me there. Then, because I went out a couple times, they had to bring me back to life because my leg was sending blood clots, and it would make my heart stop. They'd bring me back and we'd do it again. So I had a second one where I was like, I felt like I was in like an orange dimly lit room, and the only person that I had worldly resentment against, I got to talk to like on the phone. It seemed like, he wasn't there. And he told me it was my dad, because when I was young, he went to Atlanta. He's a producer and everything, drummer and stuff. So he went to Atlanta when I was young, and I always held some resentment because I feel like he left me. Right. And that's not what it was. So me and him, I know my soul figured that out.
While being in the coma.
Or dead, coma, whatever the time period.
Yeah.
Because like when they airlifted me, I talked to the pilot that actually or one of the EMTs or paramedics or whatever. I talked to him, and he said they were fixing to have to do like an emergency landing because a storm that came. He said it just opened up and they were able to fly straight to.
Wow.
He said it was crazy how it happened, but they were like having to get me stable, and I'd start again. But after that, when I settled my worldly issue, I was headed towards a bright light, like a bluish light, white light. And it felt like there was other people present around me. And the person in front of me, like, I'm a go-getter. The person in front of me, I just remember like communicating, not speaking a word, but communicating to everybody. Right. Like the person in front of me is going too slow. Like this is my first time here. I just got here, but I'm trying to get
exactly.
I'm trying to get there.
Whatever this is.
I'm trying to get there. And the next thing I know, they were pulling the ventilator out my throat. It felt like a fishbowl being pulled off on my head. It was, and then I didn't have, I wear contacts and stuff. So they had to pull my contacts out. I couldn't see. I didn't know what was going on.
Right.
And I was about this big. I was 140 pounds. My left arm didn't work. It was like the, what is it, off of the Addams Family, the little hand. I had to move my hand to do anything. I had to do this.
Right.
It was so, I had like nerve damage coming out of here. And I mean, it really changed my life. Like I found my connection, my alignment with everything.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy. Do you ever, that last one was kind of deep though. You say you felt the presence of people around you and was like, wherever they said I'm trying to go, and then that's when they was pulling the ventilator out. Do you ever think about that one?
All the time.
You ever just thought about like, what that could have been or what that was?
Every day.
Yeah.
Like I relive the stuff a lot. I wake up, there's some mornings I wake up and I forget I don't have a leg. I'll try to walk, but then like, downtime, stuff like that, I still fight depression and stuff, but I don't let it keep me too long. Exactly. But I wonder about what exactly that was.
Exactly.
All I know is I wanted to be there though.
Yeah, and now we here. So,
but this is somewhere I want to be too. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like I don't know. It gets deep.
Exactly.
It gets deep.
Exactly. But man, like that's crazy. That's some crazy stuff. That's crazy. I had a lot of stories on here. A lot of stories that killed me like man. But I gotta say, just talking to you and just being able to hear you express here now, to me where you are with it. Like I said, it's an inspiration. It's an inspiration. So I'm saying again, thank you for sharing your story with Miss Georgia in the podcast. You know what I'm saying? We appreciate that.
I appreciate y'all having me on.
We appreciate that for sure. And that's what it's about. That's what we do. We manifest greatness and we talk about the hard. The things that you can't that sometimes we just got to get out. Like, I'm such a talker, but I don't talk about me. Like,
Yeah.
And it's crazy because it's like, it's crazy listening and sitting here and talking to everybody else about their stories. And I'm just like, wow. Like, when I just said it before you even opened up, and I said, everybody got a story. And it's crazy because I just said everything happens for a reason. But I found this book probably 2 weeks ago, probably 2.5. It was in my trunk. Maybe it was in my mom's trunk. Perfect blue book. No creases, nothing. Looks like nobody touched it. And I picked it up. I'm a writer. I plan stuff, everything.
Right.
I picked it up. I opened it, and it's like a book, and it has the date on the side. And every day it has a message you should read, and it relates it to the Bible. And today I do 2 things. I got an app on my phone where it tells me the scripture of the day or whatever. And then I got this book that I've been reading. And today they kind of corresponded. And it talked about when you leave here, you will go see. This morning, I made a post and I was like, if you got a story, you need to read this. And that's exactly what it was about. And it said, let your light shine. And then it broke down what that scripture could possibly mean. And it says, it only means that if you should share your story with the people around you, even the darkest times, because it will bring light to the room. And it talked about how you should use your story to save other people.
Yeah, most definitely. Like, eventually, I wanted to go speak at like DARE programs or Boys and Girls Club. Like, if I can just help one person from taking that route, from doing something.
Exactly.
Or if
I'm sorry.
I would say, or one person to, step out of their comfort zone and start doing something a little more.
Exactly.
You never know what one little action can spark.
Could do. So the message today is your story is powerful and we should use it. I think the comparison it used, it says that don't quote me on this, but it either was God or somebody in the Bible, but it says your story is like a lamp in the room. And if think about it, if none of these lights was on, it was just that that light. We can see,
Yeah.
And it shows how important what we have to say and what we have to share is to someone, because that little bit of light that we got to shine can literally start a domino effect, and lights just light up the room.
Light bulbs everywhere.
Exactly. So, like I said, y'all, if y'all don't take anything from anything we've ever said in the podcast, we not telling you how to live your life or what to do. We just telling you about our story, and you take whatever you can from it.
Right.
And we got a little deep, but we need to know who you were and where the hustle started. And tell me real quick, because now you said if all that wouldn't be it didn't happen, you wouldn't be here now finna drop a tape. An EP.
Yeah.
With Heartbeats.
Yeah, it's a collab EP. Heartbeats has done most of the tracks on it.
Okay.
I think there's one, maybe two that he didn't do.
Okay.
But me and my brother, ADB, Always Dream Big on all platforms. We're finna drop a collab tape.
Okay.
Better late than never. You know what I'm saying? After 12 years, I'm a little late, but it's better late than never.
Exactly. And who was to say it was late? Maybe it went the time.
Everything perfect timing, like Nipsey said.
Exactly. Everything perfect timing. Divine timing. So tell the people, where can they keep up with your journey? Like, I need you to give us your Instagram.
It's XX360 Flexx with 2 X's on Instagram. It's 360 Flexx on Facebook and Apple Music, Spotify, all that. 360 Flexx with 2 X's.
Good. And before we head out of here, tell the people, what's your definition of a hustler?
Somebody that can lose it today and get it back by the night.
Literally.
It might not be tonight, but it is, it'll be one night, it'll be one day soon. No matter what happens, you're gonna get up and go get it.
Just like that. You couldn't put that any better. So y'all already know, it's your girl, the one, the only, the biggest hustler, Miss Georgia. And
it's 360 Flexx.
And we let y'all know how he hustles. And we out.
Thank you.
Man, that was good. Real quick. That was good.